she's got to drive.
Good morning, everybody.
When she drives, she's either going to score or she's going to get bumped.
Good morning.
She's got to drive.
Bob's got to finish up. All right. Well, welcome back. Get away from the microphone. What is today? December 10th. This is number 3. Yes, show number 3. Super excited to see everyone, smiling faces. We rolled up and there was almost a full parking lot. So, I know Bill's going to have to get some new tables pretty soon. That's awesome. Want to thank everybody who is able to go with us to Milwaukee. I thought besides maybe the last couple minutes of the event, the trip was great. I thought logistically it worked. Everybody was super great to show up in their black and do everything we were supposed to do and cheer on our Huskies. So that was really special, and it really, again, I know I talked about it on the bus and it was kind of goofy, but just really appreciative of really our hardcore fans and kind of here regardless of what all happened. So I do appreciate that. I know Coach is going to talk about it a little bit as well. Other women's sports right now that finished up between our last trip. It's been a crazy fall. Our last event, Ashley Tutt, she's one of our cross-country runners, had a fabulous showing at the national championship, and that's just great for our cross-country program. And then she recently had set a school record in the 3,000 at an indoor track meet. So keep an eye out for her. I think she's going to do really special stuff for us. A little housekeeping of what's coming up. We actually are going to play a home women's basketball game. So I know, yay. So that's exciting. We have the Compass Challenge coming up next Thursday and Friday. So for those of you that join us for 6-man grill, it's just going to be open, the concessions and such for our game. But I do want to tell you that your tickets are good for both games. So the early game starts at 4:30, and then we're always going to be the later game at 7. So just keep your eye out for that. We are going to do a toy drive on Thursday. It's Star Wars Day, so I'm very excited about that. Star Wars opens another movie, so we're going to do another Star Wars Day. So if you like to dress up, I'm going to be dressing up. Bring a toy. We're going to donate those to Salvation Army toy drive. So since we have a home game coming up, we'll also be starting up bingo again. So I know I'm going to get a new bingo sheet, right, Jake? Jake's in the back. He can redeem bingo, and he can also maybe hand out bingo sheets. And so hopefully that's something you all do. After Compass Challenge, we have the Drake game against Drake. We're not going to call it the Drake game. We're calling it a game against Drake. We play them on Sunday the 29th at 2 o'clock. So do your Sunday thing, get some lunch, and then please come join us. Don't forget about that one. It's kind of in the holiday period, so hopefully everyone can get there for that. Golf tournament. So I know it's weird to talk about golf as it's 10 degrees outside, but we have established our date for our golf tournament. So all you golfers out there, it's June 19th. It's on a Friday. So we'll have more information about that very, very soon. So that's the housekeeping information. I will now introduce our fabulous head coach, Lisa Carlsen.
Fabulous. Good morning, everyone. I want to also welcome a couple people, as I usually do. Coach Sutt is here, our faithful fan. And later we get an opportunity to hear from Coach Moriali about our gymnastics program, so it's always nice to have our fellow head coaches here. I also do want to thank all of you who were able to go on the bus to Milwaukee. We talked about in the off season how cool it would be to take a fan bus somewhere, and we were lucky enough to look at, we play at Milwaukee and we play at Illinois State, and those were the two that we had kind of earmarked for the opportunity to bring our season ticket holders to an away game. And to watch you guys walk into the gym when the kids were warming up, it was really easy to put a smile on everybody's face. To have that type of contingency at an away game, it was great, and I really do appreciate you guys taking advantage of that situation. I know that Johnny and Aaron said it was a lot of fun on the bus as well, and it gave them the opportunity, obviously, to get to the game without missing class. So that was great for them. Deborah also spent some time talking a little bit about the international trip that we have ideally coming up. Foreign tours essentially for women's basketball is something that's been going on for quite some time. And the NCAA says you can go once every 4 years. And especially teams in our league, but really teams around the country, have taken advantage of this as far as an opportunity for the student athletes that we have on campus. And so we've been talking about this again for quite some time and thought it would be a great opportunity for our student athletes to take a trip. And generally you do it in August. I mean, you can do it anytime, but the NCAA also allows you about 10 extra practice days. So people will go in August prior to the start of the school year and really kind of jumpstart what that team looks like. I know that some of you have already pledged for that trip. I will also tell you that that's a trip we would love to take fans with us. So as we work out the details and kind of see where we're going to be able to get to from a fundraising standpoint, I would encourage all of you to think about whether that is something that could fit into your schedule and join us on that trip in August in 2021. So it'll be a year and a half from now. Since we last got together in November, there's been a lot going on. Obviously, there hasn't been a lot going on at the Convocation Center as far as women's basketball is concerned, but that doesn't mean that we haven't been busy. This is also finals week for our student athletes, so it's, again, a little bit of a unique time when we think about we've played 8 games, and now we have a 13-day gap where we don't play at all. It's interesting for basketball players because it's go, 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 go. And then you need to really make sure we take care of things in the classroom with a little bit of a delay the next time you put on a uniform. From a coach's standpoint, I think it's great. It's a great opportunity to practice, work on those things that you need to get better at in preparation for the end of the non-conference season and getting ready for the MAC. For players, they don't like to practice this time of year. They would much rather play because that's what they've been doing. But it is a nice gap, and like I say, it's a time to refresh, recharge, really take care of things in the classroom before we get back at it. We also, in early November, signed 2 student athletes early for next year. Both of them are guards, as we have some pretty big shoes to fill in the guard court. One is a guard out of Bolingbrook, Illinois, a very prominent high school program that rolls out college prospects all the time. And so she's surrounded by great players who are going to continue to push her and make her better. Her name is Jaden Maribel. You're going to love her. She can score at all 3 levels. She plays the point for them. She will be a combination guard for us, a good 3-point shooter, really high basketball IQ. Last year as a junior, she averaged 15.6 assists and 6 rebounds a game, so she's very well-rounded in what she does. And again, plays and surrounded by a lot of great players. Comes from a great family. Her dad is a coach and educator. Her mom works for an insurance company in the Chicagoland area. She has an older sister who she's very tight with, and they're close. So it'll be a great situation for her coming in. Again, her name is Jaden. And then the other freshman that we have coming in, her name is Sydney McCrae. She's from Cedar Rapids Prairie. We joke sometimes. I've had a difficult time in the last few years being able to land Iowa kids. I don't know why. I'm an Iowa girl. I love Iowa, and I tell them that. But we just have lost out on a few Iowa kids. But I think Sydney's going to be a great one for us. She's a bigger guard, about 5'10". Again, great basketball IQ, does it all. Very unselfish, yet very talented. She has 2 younger brothers who they've been on visits with her, which is kind of fun. They are not shy, love to talk. Are athletes as well. Her mom is a lawyer, her dad is a CPA, and she's a very high academic kid. So again, on all levels, going to be a great addition to the institution as well as our program. She's probably looking to major in either engineering or biology, and with a 33 ACT, she could probably do whatever she wants, which is great. And I talk about this in the recruiting process, but probably the most important outside of can they play at this level is are they going to be great culture kids and great fits for NIU, and I think these 2 absolutely check that box. So you're going to enjoy, again, much like this year's freshman class. I talked the same way about them a year ago, saying you're going to love this class, they're going to fit into what we're trying to do, they're great culture kids, and they've definitely been all of that and more. So we're excited about those two joining the family this summer. And then we'll probably have a couple of additions in the spring that we'll have coming in for next year as well. So since the last time we got together from a basketball standpoint, we've played 6 games, which again is a lot. All of them on the road, which I know you are all well aware. But we've had some pretty exciting things happen. You know, we went to Colorado State shortly after our last Coffee with Carlsen. We were able to win in overtime there. We had 4 Huskies in double figures, which will always be a goal for us. I think that's when we're at our best, is when we share the basketball and have a lot of people contribute in a lot of different ways. Riley actually earned MAC Player of the Week basically because of that game. Had a great trip to Colorado, and that's a big win for us. Colorado State has some real storied history, especially recently as far as their involvement in the postseason. So that's a good resume builder. Then we went to Illinois State. Not one of the prettiest basketball games that either team has ever played. If you watch that, the ball was flying all over at reckless abandonment, which was not cool. Courtney did have 26 points in that game. We lost by 3. It was, again, not the prettiest basketball game, one we'd love to have back. But definitely competitive. And Illinois State, again, is going to have a great year. They're off to a great start, and they're very talented this year. Then we turned around and went to Purdue. I was really proud of the way we bounced back after Illinois State. I was really proud of the competitiveness that we had against Purdue. We had a great first half, had the lead at halftime. They made a little bit of a run in the third quarter. But again, in the fourth quarter, we were able to make a push and end up being a 5-point loss, but probably gave them everything that they had bargained for. So games like that are continuing to make us better, and Purdue was definitely a 40-minute ball game where a lot of people did a lot of great things. And then over the Thanksgiving holiday, we took off and went to Vegas. There was a lot of really cool things about the Vegas trip, and I think probably the coolest thing is that we had a ton of family join us that weekend in Vegas. And so anytime, again, as a basketball player, very few times are you around over Thanksgiving. You're almost always playing in a tournament or games or whatever. And so there's a lot of Thanksgivings that come and go that you don't spend with your family, and it's just kind of the way it is. But we had a ton of parents and family travel and meet us in Vegas, and we had time that the kids could spend with them. A lot of the pictures that you see behind us, you'll see them, the players obviously with each other, but also with their parents and family that were able to join us. So that was really cool because we were there for about 4 days, and they were very involved in everything that we did. The facility that we played in, it was called South Point, was actually, everything was there. So the arena was there where they usually have big rodeo things going on, but they put a basketball court down. It's a really nice place to play. We stayed there. All of our meals were there. So it was really, everybody could be in one place at one time. We did take a day afternoon, essentially, and take the kids down to the Strip and had a meal down there. And that's where a lot of the family spent significant time with their daughter. So it was really a lot of fun. We played Tennessee Tech, a team that went to the postseason last year, and were able to beat them, which was great. And then we played South Dakota, which probably is the best team on our schedule. And some people don't understand. If you don't follow women's basketball, you're like, okay, South Dakota, who's South Dakota? I can tell you right now, the University of South Dakota is a basketball team that is going to beat a lot of people and has beat a lot of people. They were the first team last year in the Summit that went to the NCAA tournament as an at-large, and they were very, very well deserving. They are all of that or more this year. We would have had to play a really good game to beat them. We did not play a really good game. We would have needed them not to have their A game, and they absolutely had their A game. I think they had 17 threes, and it was a game where they didn't miss, and we didn't hit enough, and it got a little bit ugly in a hurry. But again, the trip overall was amazing, and I think the kids will definitely have memories from that trip on a lot of different levels. Shelby did play really well when we were out there. She came away with the 6-woman award winner. She had double figures both games and played, again, really well. There was 10 teams out there, so for her to have any type of an award to that tournament says a lot about her performance. And then the last game, which again, many of you were able to join us when we went to Milwaukee. You know, it was a little bit uncharacteristic in some ways for us because all the games that I've talked about, besides maybe South Dakota and even the games that we played before that, we've been a very strong fourth quarter team. You know, we've played from behind a lot this year. The wins that we do have are come from behind wins. So to see us not execute as well as we need to down the stretch, again, was something that we hadn't done. We led the game for 30 plus minutes. And then unfortunately, like I say, down the stretch, we just had possessions that we didn't take care of things. Grace did get her first start against Milwaukee, and she took full advantage of that. Again, a freshman that stepped on the court. She had 19 for us and really did some good things in that position. And so I think the future is bright for a couple of those freshmen, especially that I mentioned. You know, I mentioned also that we're in a stretch right now where we don't play for 13 games, so we have an opportunity to get a lot done. I usually give you an injury update, which I'm happy to say, besides the little bumps and bruises here and there, I don't have anything new to report, which is great. Yeah. Because we have a little bit of a gap here, though, it is good for a few of our kids who are kind of have those nagging things going on where they can really get healthy in preparation for the last three games that we have of the non-conference. Our players will have about 5 days off over Christmas to go home and spend with their families, which is also nice. So many of the tables have been talking about the Compass Challenge, so just so we're aware of what that is. Last year was the first year in a rotation of Northern, Southern, Eastern, and Western all getting together and playing in a little tournament. We call it the State Bragging Rights. Southern hosted last year, and they did a great job as far as that event is concerned. It will have a traveling trophy. It is seeding-wise based on the previous year. So we were essentially the highest RPI team from last year. Eastern was the lowest RPI team. And so we will play each other, and then Western and Southern will play each other. And then the winners and losers will play the next game. So it's a 4-year rotation. Hopefully it will continue past that because it's been a great, I think, regional thing for women's basketball, and it's been a lot of fun. So you won't want to miss that. Again, all the teams are really off to a pretty good start. There's going to be some good basketball that go on in the combo those 2 days. And then also, Deborah mentioned the Drake game. You know, many of you have heard me talk in different venues throughout the beginning of this season, and I talked about how our schedule is going to put us in position to be ready for the MAC. It was I knew it would be a challenge from the beginning. It has not disappointed as far as being a challenge. Drake is one of those teams also that is essentially a perennial power at the mid-major level, and we had an opportunity to play them at home. So all of those games are going to be great for us, like I say, as a learning process in preparation for when it really gets down to business after the first of the year. Even though we're probably not record-wise where we want to be, we're not necessarily playing our best basketball right now, I do feel like we still have the pieces, and it's just my job to put them together to have a really special year. We have a great group of kids that has never faltered. They are a bunch of hard-working kids. We have great leadership, and all of those things are going to bode well for us to continue to kind of figure it out. I do think being on the road, again, is painful as it may have been in the last 6 weeks or however long it's been. I think that will bode well for us, again, when we go to places in the MAC that are a little unfriendly. I think our kids will be ready for that and definitely battle-tested in that area. Does anybody have any questions for me? Of course, Bob, tell me.
Okay, you mentioned you've got two commitments. How many scholarships do you have left?
We will probably take 3 more kids. I mean, we'll have a couple of post player positions essentially to fill, with Abby and Allie and Nini both being seniors. So we have some people that we're looking at there, and then whether that's transfers or junior college players or freshmen that are still out there, we'll probably have 3 more kids that we'll sign.
Freshman that played in Milwaukee, that knew, what was her name?
Grace?
Mark?
Grace Hunter? Which one?
Shelby.
Grace or Shelby?
Yes. That's a good one.
Yeah, she's a good one.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the other comment I would make is you guys didn't just, well, you did turn over and everything the last 7-8 minutes, but that number 24 all of a sudden shot the lights out.
Yeah.
And she normally scores 5 points and she scored 9 or?
Yeah, we have to, and she had 8 threes, you're right. We have to just do a better job. I think I need to do a better job, players need to do a better job, or whatever, recognizing when someone is absolutely in the zone. I mean, and she hit some of those with people in her face.
Yes.
But we can't let somebody go off from behind the arc like she did, because it was feeling great leaving her hands for sure. All right, I get the privilege of introducing our student athlete this morning. Abby Wollicott is here. She's a senior forward from Rockford. A couple of things about Abby. You know, she is a captain on this year's team. Abby has been a tremendous role player for us for 4 years. And I think when you think about that, somebody who hasn't necessarily been a starter for 4 years, to be voted captain on this team speaks volumes of the work that she's put in and the respect that she has from the coaching staff as well as her team to be voted a captain. She takes that very seriously. I love that about her. Again, nobody works harder than Abby does in her craft, as well as making sure that she takes this team and what we stand for to a whole different level. So with that, I'll have Abby come on up.
Good morning. It's really nice to see you all here. Like Coach said, my name's Abby. I'm a senior on the team this year. I just want to take the time this morning to talk kind of just about the evolution of myself and the team the past 3.5 years that I've been here. Without getting emotional, hopefully, because as the coaches know, I've tried to talk about the past and how much growth we've had the past 3 years, and I get emotional about it because I care so much, and it's just really cool to see. So I'll just take you back to freshman year. Personally, I feel like I had no idea what to expect coming into a Division I basketball program. For some reason, I felt like the people I came in with and all the freshmen since kind of had somewhat of an idea, but I really just didn't know what I was getting myself into. So that being said, I learned an insane amount my freshman year. I realized just how much I needed to grow, how much I needed to work. Came in having to guard Kelly Smith, if any of you remember her. So I pretty much had to go head-to-head with her next 3 years that she was here. So that alone made me realize I had to get tough and get tough fast and get in the weight room and get stronger and just put in a lot of work. So that's kind of my freshman year in a nutshell, just realizing how much I needed to grow and learn to be a college basketball player, and I learned what it was going to take. As a team freshman year, it was just, I felt so lucky to be a part of that team. We had obviously a really great run to the MAC championship. It was fun to play for those 3 seniors, Allie Lehman, Cassie Glenn, and Amber. So it was kind of nice coming in because it was Coach Carlsen's second year. So really things were new for everyone. So I felt not as much as a disadvantage. I didn't come into a program that was, it was so set and everyone had expectations. It was kind of still, everyone was learning that. So I felt like I wasn't so new in that area, which was kind of nice. I was learning with everyone else. So then get to sophomore and junior year, I'll kind of just mesh them together. Personally, it was 2 years of a lot of just straight up growth and putting in a lot of work for myself. I battled knee injuries, which isn't always the best when you're trying to put in as much work as possible on the court to get better. But that being said, I grew so much mentally and physically, and that was really nice for me. I needed those 2 years for sure. And then, as a team, I think like Coach had been there a few years now, so we were really trying to instill culture and expectations. And so those years were definitely growing in that way too, just instilling expectations and values for the years to come. we started having the program come, so we started learning about mental strength and leadership and what it was going to take off the court to see results on the court. And then also just working on player accountability. We've learned a lot about that the past 4 years, and just bringing that to this year, my senior year. I've been here for 3 full years, so I think I've gotten a really good understanding, gotten to know the coaching staff really well and the rest of the players really well, so I have a really good understanding on like the expectations and just what standards we need to set and what it's going to take to be a championship team. So that's been really fun to like grow in that area, and I've learned so many things. In high school, you don't really have like culture meetings and you talk about how's everyone doing. It's just like a whole new level of that. So that's been really cool for me to do. And then I think just overall, personally, this program has completely changed me as a person, and I'll always be indebted to it because it's really molded me to the person that I'll be for the rest of my life. I've learned so much. Just a few things to mention. I've just learned about being on a team, working with others. I've learned how to communicate, over-communicate, and just straight up being persistent and working towards goals and dreams that I have when things might not be going my way, and just having to fight through that. I've learned a lot in that area. I've definitely grown as a leader. I would have been very nervous to come up here and speak, but now it's just kind of another thing to do throughout the day, which is nice because that will be really helpful for the rest of my life and my career. And I've had the privilege to play for Coach Carlsen and Adam every year I've been here, and I look up to them so much and have so much respect because I've seen them handle a million different situations, basketball, on the court, off the court, and I will always look back to those situations when I go on to my career and how to handle those, so I just want to thank them for that. Overall as a team, it's been really cool seeing like the evolution of all these things that we've been trying to put in place. I think this year, I think Allie talked about our culture. We've been really trying to go hard in that area off the court to hopefully see results on the court. So that's been really cool. Obviously, it's never going to be perfect. We have room to grow, but seeing the evolution of that over the years has been something really cool, and I feel really lucky to have been a part of that. And I'm excited to move on and be able to see how this team takes that and runs with it. So I just want to thank you all for being here. It's been really nice to have you guys' continued support through the wins and losses the past 4 years. I'm really excited to play at home, and I hope to see you all there soon.
Everybody's excited to be at home. I will now introduce my friend Sam Moriali, the head gymnastics coach, fresh off his MAC championship and Coach of the Year honors in his 9th year at the helm. He's going to tell us everything we need to know about NIU gymnastics.
Sam is here.
Just for you, Adam. Hey, first of all, I want to thank Adam for giving me a really, really good scare this morning. Called him a little before 7, and I'm like, oh, program's from 8 to 9, right? And he texts me back, he's like, no, 7. So thank you, Adam, for getting me going quick. I will get you. All right, I want to thank all you guys. These guys have already said it as far as your continued support. You guys are the great fans. It's fun seeing you guys not only at basketball, because I'm also a basketball fan, but at other events. And as somebody who works in the department, we definitely feel your guys' support, and it does help us to do what we want to do for you guys. But more importantly, it helps the athletes because they feel that much more comfortable when they're performing in front of people they know and trust. And I mean, I don't want to speak for the athletes, but love. So thank you guys for that. I want to thank Deborah and Lisa and her staff for allowing us coaches to come and talk to you guys like this. This is a great little plug for our program. I know you guys are here for basketball, so I won't take too much of your time up. But we had a decent year last year, so it's fun to share. Lastly, I want to thank my biggest fan, Lisa, my wife, who's sitting back there. Coached the Silverettes, so she's as big a fan as I am. So let's give her a hand. She never gets any appreciation. All right, I did bring notes because Lisa put pressure on me. It had to be good, apparently. So no matter what, just say it was good. How about that? All right, I'm a little excited today. It was a historic year for us last year gymnastically. Not only academically did we kind of knock it out of the park, which is, for me, I'm more proud of that. 3.7 plus GPA, we ended up third in the nation academically for the gymnastics teams. So for us, that was a huge accomplishment. Thank you. I had nothing to do with that. That's SAS, that's the athletes themselves. I'm pretty lucky in my sport. Most gymnasts understand the scholastic side of it because there isn't a professional gymnastics unless you're going to go into Cirque du Soleil. So they have to do well. But I'm blessed and I'm super lucky that they actually take that seriously. So we're chasing that again today, or this year. We were happy with third, but there's a couple spots ahead of us still. And then on top of that, we won our first ever MAC championship. And that was a huge accomplishment. We did it at home. I'd like to say it was all me, but it wasn't. I luckily stayed out of the way enough so that they could do what they were ready to do. And it was a super, super exciting, to win it at home is amazing. The energy in the crowd, just the comfort level of being in your own house, it was all super cool. It was almost surreal. By far my best sporting accomplishment. It's better than my first ever touchdown or defensive sack or any of that stuff. But I'll remember that day for probably the rest of my life. Not only because the day itself, but the team. We felt like, more importantly, the girls felt like they could win it last year. So every meet we went into, that was kind of the undertone. That's kind of, even when we struggled a little bit, they still felt like they had what it took to get it done. So the day also set up perfect where my team was built. I don't know how much you guys know about gymnastics, but we rotate through the 4 events. We went to arguably the hardest event last, but it was our best event. So to end on your best event always gives you that little leg up. And the girls knocked it out of the park. So pretty happy with that. I jumped all over the place, so I apologize. All right, how did we do it and how do we repeat it? If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire because I'd share it with everybody. Well, at least people on staff anyway, right? Lisa and Christina. Truly last year, as coaches, every year we're chasing that same thing. We're chasing the ring, we're chasing the trophy, we're chasing the wins. We're doing the work day in, day out. And then you get a group that it just clicks with. And I feel like truly that's what it was last year. Everything kind of clicked. Everything fell into place. I had great leaders in place. Not only that, but the underclassmen that came in understood what we were trying to do, so then jumped on board with that. These guys talk about culture. Culture's that's the secret ingredient. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have that culture of the kids wanting to kind of give it for each other, you're not going to win. You'll win, but you're not going to win at all. And I truly think that culture piece was what kind of tipped us over the edge. Now, I'm not going to lie, I have 19 women on my team, so I can't say that they all love each other all the time, but they do respect and like each other all the time. And that is required of them. Pretty happy with that. So to do it again this year, obviously every year we kind of retweak what we did last year just to make sure it's set the same way and what went well we can repeat. But I think ultimately what's going to help us again this year is the kids have a chip on their shoulder. They don't want to be seen as a one-hit wonder. They want to be seen, the upperclassmen that are graduating out want to be seen as the group that kind of made us relevant, for lack of a better way to put it. So even though we won last year, that was definitely last year. So they're coming back with the same intensity to kind of do that same thing. And I mean, honestly, we're going to be a more talented team this year. We're going to be deeper. We are going to be upperclassmen driven, which it may be scary, but it's really not, because when I say upperclassmen, I include my sophomores. So we're going to get great input from seniors, juniors, and sophomores, where they're going to kind of carry the load. Freshmen coming in, one in particular, Brooklyn Sears, she's going to be somebody who's got a chance to do a lot of really, really big things. But the good thing for us is the freshmen are talented. They're just not going to be able to break into lineups, which is a good problem to have, because now that means you're relying on kids who have been there before, done it, have the experience. So we're pretty excited about that. Boom, boom. So last year, everything started here. When I did this little spiel here, we talked about our goals and how we wanted to be MAC champs. So I'm going to say it again here this year, because I feel like it worked last year. So whatever you guys who were here last year, whatever you felt at that time, try to feel the same thing so we can do it again. But our plan is the girls want to go undefeated this year, which I think is a pretty impressive feat. I'll let them talk about all that stuff all they want, while I'm telling them to take another turn for sure, just so we can keep going in the right direction. But, academically, we want to keep pushing the bar. We want to win the conference again. But the big thing we're chasing is postseason. We want to be like Lisa, where we can go to the dance and the basketball team, and we want to get to regionals and the postseason as a team. We've gotten a lot of individuals there over the years, but it's been a long, long time since we got a team in there. So that's kind of what we're pushing for. So in closing, just want to wish you guys best of luck. I'm a huge fan, and I want to watch you guys continue to grow. I love where the basketball program is going, as do all you guys, which is why you're here. So Merry Christmas and go Huskies.
All right. I mean, between Abby and Sam, I'm fired up. Let's go. Okay. Come on, buddy. Raffle. Come on. You gotta go up here one more time. You're like, oh, I thought it was done. You go in.
Just one of them?
One at a time. We have 5. 5 basketball players. All right. Ready, everybody? Tickets? 664903. Yes. Let's see if we can get all Milwaukee people. That'd be funny. All right. Next one. 264491. Yes. Fabulous. Price is right back there in the back. I think we might have some gymnastics stuff too. Next one, 955996. Oh, there we go. Thank you, sir. All right. Next one, 264488. Atta girl, Connie. All right, last one. 664904. Gary Evans, he needs more NIU stuff. Get you a mug or a shirt or something. Let's see, what have we got here? Raffle, we'll wrap up. 5 winners, did that. Again, super excited about next week, Thursday, Friday. Hopefully everyone will be able to be there and bring friends. And then we will not meet again until January. You didn't write it on here. 14th. I'm going to say it's the 14th.
It's right here.
Fact check me. 14th? January 14th. So we're going to have our head director of track cross country, Connie T. Berry, and also Adrian Myers is going to come be very excitable about what he has going on as well. So January 14th, between then and now, we have lots of home basketball games, so we'll see you there. And happy holidays. Go Huskies. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.